So let's get started. Ta-da! Welcome to Devo Deep Dives. Today, this is me, the community manager at Devo Connect, and with us we have Julio, who is the Senior Director of Product Management.
Hey, everybody.
Today we're going to jump in and cover a few of the releases we have recently launched on the Devo platform, the latest in data search improvements from release 8.11, subqueries and data search from release 8.12, complex type queries from release 8.10, and I'll do a quick rundown of the alert filter presets, which I really like data from 8.11.1. And we went backwards. Also wanted to let everybody know that the next big event is the SOC Analyst Appreciation Day. It's on October 16th. And we'll also run the deep dives every month at the end of the month. So be on the lookout for the next invite in the community for that. All right. I'm going to let Julio take over now and start sharing his screen, and we can jump right into the data search improvements.
Okay, thank you, Juan. Welcome, everybody. So as Juan mentioned, we are going to showcase some of the latest improvement that we have released. So I'm going to share my screen real quick. Okay, so you should be now seeing my screen. Perfect. So first thing, we are going to go through some of the changes that we have done in data search. So let's open a table. This one, for example, will have some data. This is an internal table for activity. You will be familiar with this table, activity inside the Devo UI. So this is me doing some actions. The first and the most important feature that we have released is a new grid technology that is based on HTML canvas, which is a technology that is used, for example, in other products like Google Sheets. And basically what we are doing here is to, instead of rendering this table with a lot of table HTML elements, TDTR, if you are technical, you will maybe be familiar with this element, HTML element. So instead of that, which is very big and memory consuming, we are just using a single HTML element. So I'm gonna share it here very quickly for those of you who are technical. You see here, if we inspect this, this is the canvas HTML tag that we are using now instead of all the TDTRs and so on. So this is basically an image instead of a real table in HTML, and is the important thing is that is much more performant than before. So the navigation, the scrolling is much more performant, very smooth, both from top to down and from left to right is much more smooth. There is no limitation in the number of columns that you can display. So if you recall, we included a limitation of 50 by default. Now we remove it. So in this case, I don't know how many columns we have, but a lot of them. Also, the drag and dropping has been redone. So this is again working much better. Even if you have to move a column to the end of the grid, it's gonna work smoothly, or it should. Please let us know if you find anything weird. We added some cool features, like for example, double clicking here on this separation to expand the size of the width of the column. So this is very convenient sometimes. Also, we added the double click view. when it is fitting, like this case, it doesn't add a lot of value, but when it doesn't fit, you see now I double click on a cell and I see the wrap version of the content of this cell. So you can copy here or do whatever you need. What else? I'm not sure if I am missing. I don't have the full list
Let me
handy.
see.
I think those are the most well. I will also remind you guys, maybe you are aware, maybe not, that you can just click on any cell here. For example, I click here and I click enter, and this is a shortcut to filter by equal to the value that I selected. So imagine I want to filter by my email. So I just click on a cell where my name is on it, and this just clicking enter, it will filter, or it will open this form just with username equal to my email. Okay, so this is very handy to start filtering and making a query here very easily. I don't know, Juan, if you
Uh,
have. Yeah.
there, because of the new enhancements with the canvas, so one element, there is now no column limits that you can display.
Yeah, that
So that's
was
one.
correct.
And then improve drag and drop, navigation. There was one other one that I had in here. Um,
I think I covered
um,
them all,
yeah, I
but
think you got it. Yeah.
yeah.
I'm racking my
Another
brain. I think that would make me.
another cool trick, just in case you don't know, is to select as many columns as you want here. Imagine you want to group by these two columns. If you select them before clicking here, they will be automatically added as an argument. So this is also very handy. The same way, if you want to create an argument, a new field using these two as input, you can do the same, and it will be added here automatically as arguments. These aren't part of the release, but I always take the chance to remind this because it's very useful. So I think
I
yeah.
remember now. The last thing was the navigation with arrow keys. That
Yeah,
was
yeah,
the
yeah,
that was
exactly.
the thing. Yeah.
That was the one missing. So now you can navigate through the grid using just the keyboard. So I'm using my keyboard, pressing the keystroke to the right. So this is gonna move until the way I want. So up, down, left, right. Okay. So this is also can be handy, and combined with what I told you about the enter keystroke, can be also very handy to filter. One question I have for the folks joining, would you like, when you navigate with the keyboard, would you like to stop in the first column and in the last column, or you would like better to continue on the next row? Do you have any preference on that? We are still thinking about what would be better. Any feedback? So I think this is very personal. Some people would expect to stop on the first and the last column. Others would like to move to the next one. We can move ahead and go to the complex types. I think this is interesting. So complex types are, well, as you probably know, Devo has types. So when you show here, all the columns has a type, right? Even date is of type timestamp, labels, type string. The most common types are string, int, boolean. Sometimes there are some booleans. IPs are also a type. So these are what we call simple types, and then there are complex types. Complex types there are four, actually five. But let's start by showing you one by one. Okay, so the first complex type is a set. Okay, so I can create a set. Well, I'm in a table here. I have hidden all the columns just for simplicity, and I'm gonna start adding new columns. All the rows will show the same information, but this is just theory, so we don't care very much about the data. Just the complex type that I'm creating. So the set, maybe those of you who have programmed will maybe know that sets doesn't allow to repeat the element, so you cannot have inside a set two elements with the same value. As you can see here, I'm trying to create a set with two threes, but here is only showing one. That's because you cannot have multiple equal values inside a set, okay? And then a set cannot be accessed. The order is not important. It's an order. It's a structure that doesn't have any order. So what else you can do with a set? You can create several sets and then merge them into a single one like this. So you can do you can create two sets, set one and set two. And then with plus, you can include or create a new set that contains all the elements in set one, set two. Even you can add one extra element, just adding the element itself. Okay. So one important thing is that this is a set, but it's a set of integers. Okay. So the complex type contains simple types inside. And inside a set, you cannot mix different types. So either you create a set of integers or a set of strings or a set of IPs, but you cannot merge, you cannot mix different simple types inside a set. And something basic that you can also do is to check if a value or if if a value is inside a set or not. So in this case, 11 is not in the set, so I'm getting false as a response. If I evaluate the 20, will say true because 20 is part of the set. Okay, so that's the theory or the theory part of the set. We will come with more interesting examples, use cases later. What else do we have? This is what types?
Okay, tuple, add, attend.
I am missing here more samples. Maybe this, yes. Okay, so let me move back here. So we cover set. And now array. Okay, so arrays is another complex type. And arrays do have order and do allow multiple same values inside an array. So you can here create an array which will contain twice the number one, twice number two, and number three. Okay, so that's an array. And then you can add, well, let me close this to get some space. So you can add also values using plus to an array and create new ones. And we will see more in later, okay, about other use cases. The next one is the tuple. So a tuple is another complex type that can mix inside a tuple. You can mix data from different types. So you can have integers, strings, floats, number, IPs inside a tuple. Okay. And you can access data inside a tuple using this convention here. So this start at 0. So this is number 0, number 1, 2, and 3. I'm accessing to the third element of the tuple by using tuple 3. Okay. And this is a float. Okay. We can see that this is a float using this, for example. Okay. You see here that I'm getting a float type. And I can get also more information. So in this case, I'm accessing an IP. And then the last one, the last complex type is a map. Okay, so maps is sometimes it's called dictionary. So it's an object that contains key values. So the key is in this case the name, and this is the value John, key age value 30, key country value US. Okay, so this is sometimes called, as I said, dictionary. You may be familiar with that, and you can also access well, you can create also maps that reference the data inside the table. So in this case, I'm creating a map called map2 that contains the source host, this key, and the value will be the source host of the event that was in each row. Okay, and country is saying I'm creating based on the IP, I'm converting this field to an IP4 type, and then using MM2 country, I'm calculating what's the country associated with this IP or this source host. So in my map2, we can see here that we have IPs and countries, okay, based on the data inside each element of the table, if each row of the table. So this is kind of the theoretical piece I wanted to share. You can access the content of any key by saying, okay, name of the map and then name of the key. You will return the value of that key. Okay, that's very simple. Any questions so far? Okay, so moving to more interesting use cases. So let me show you how can you use Sept. Actually, Sept, as if you remember, I said cannot include the same value twice. So it's just unique values. So if you want to calculate in Devo the distinct count of a field, imagine in this table, I want to calculate, as I said, this is a table that contains IP addresses that are accessing a web application. So there are many IP addresses here. Some of them are IP4, some of them are IPv6. But in any case, I would like to know how many distinct IP addresses are connecting to the server. So the way to do that is by using this hyperlog log count, that is an estimation. This is an operation that estimates the distinct element. So here I am rounding the number to get an integer. So there are 10 different IP addresses connecting to the server. If I want to know now the 10 IP addresses that have connected, I can use collect distinct. Okay, this is another operation that returns a set. Okay, so with collect distinct of the field source host, I am returning exactly the 10 different IP addresses. So here you can see all the different IP addresses. Some of them are IPv4, some of them IPv6, as I said. Any questions so far? Here you can see there is the return type is a set of strings. Okay. Okay, let's continue with arrays. So you can, as I said, create arrays of integers, but also other using other simple types inside the array. So we cover kind of this piece that you create, how you create an array, how you add new elements inside an array, but you can also sum all the elements inside the array with sum. So if we check here, colon sum, here 10 is the sum of all the elements inside the array 2. Okay, so 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 is equal to 10. You can also calculate the length of the array using length. You can reverse the array. So reversing, oh, what did I do? You can reverse, so I'm reversing here array 2, this one, I can reverse it. As I said, well, and then this is a little bit unsorted but so we reverse it. We can remove the nulls by using these drop null operations. And then, as I said, we can create arrays of strings instead of integers like here. So I created an array of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 strings. I call it array string. I can reverse it. I can calculate the length, more or less the same. I can access the first element using this syntax here. And then one interesting operation that you can use that will return an array is split. Okay, so split, when you use it um, with 1, 2, 3 parameters or with 3 arguments, you will return a simple type. But if you only pass 2, the string to be split and the separator, you will get back an array. Okay, so if we go to here and we see exactly this is what I got from using split only with 2 arguments. So as you can see, it's an array of 3 elements. Okay, so from this I am getting an array. And that's all for arrays. Questions? Okay, so
I know
let's
we
move.
have a few minutes left.
Yeah.
So let's cover subqueries and then we can
let's
anyone
cover.
that wants to stay after we can keep talking. But
So subqueries use complex types, but actually the type that is behind a subquery in Devo is none of the ones we cover. Is a different one we call table. So this is an example of subquery, and so you have your outer query, the main one here, and then here you have the inner query. This inner query is going to retrieve to the outer query a type of a value, sorry, of type table. This is internal. In our internal, you don't need to worry about that. You just need to know that the output of this inner query will be passed to the outer query. And the most common way that you use subqueries is for filtering. So imagine, in this case, for example, I'm filtering only users' names that are contained in the result of this query. That is a query to another table, to another, yeah, to a different table. And you can sometimes use the same table in the inner query and the outer query, but in this case, I'm using different one. So I'm basically querying Symlog Trust web navigation. I'm filtering only Chrome request coming from a Chrome browser, and then I am grouping to get a list of emails. And so I am getting a list of emails of people that are using Chrome as a browser. And this list is being used as an input to filter on this activity table. So typical use cases for subqueries are going to be around filtering sometimes or most of the time. And a typical security use case would be to have a blacklist and filter all the IPs, all the IPs, or all the requests that are coming from an IP that is blacklisted. This is a common way of using subqueries. So we are on the top of the hour, I think. So more or less we cover everything that was at least from my side, planned. I hope the team find the information useful, or the people that joined. Thank you for being here, and yeah, any feedback, please reach out.
So yeah, I just wanted to tell you guys what's coming on next in the community, which is I'm going to do a monthly recap that covers everything we launched in September. I'm launching community badges soon that you can add to your LinkedIn profile, and we're looking forward to more events and groups for you guys. And of course, don't forget SOC Analyst Appreciation Day, and any feedback, you know how to reach me on the community. And with that, we'll call the first deep dives ended. Any feedback, you can leave it in chat or on the post in the community, and more than happy to take any suggestions for the next call, what you guys want to see, and when you got to focus on a particular topic and go longer with it, or if you want to extend the call from a half hour to 45 minutes to an hour, we can do that too. But thank you everyone for coming, and yeah, please send me any feedback that you guys have.